Where are we going?
We are going to Philadelphia.
For what?
Well, for the Business Society trip.
Do you have something to say to the people?
Which people?
Whoever watching this.
I will tell you right now, people don't watch this. That's what I have to say.
I'm saying everybody watch this video because Edward is going to be left in Philadelphia.
Just say, for the Future Business Society, this trip is basically the culmination of all our efforts. That means we all worked hard, so we're all going. This is the reward. Are you going to baseball, or are you just going to tell Mr. Norris?
I have them in Mexico. Check you out. I want to know my I think we need a group.
It's awesome being here.
How do you like it? You enjoying the trip?
It's a good trip.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Jesus Rosero.
The president.
Mr. President.
Mr. President. How are you? Are you having fun on the trip?
That is all.
Soon to be treasurer.
Soon to be treasurer.
Oh, big treasurer, vice president, president. Are you going to be everything? And secretary or
No, I'm just treasurer.
Just
Shut up. Shut up.
I'll have to ask Jason.
All right, so that's part of monetary policy. We affect interest rates, right? So the Federal Reserve System as a whole affects interest rates through its monetary policy. What else?
They keep people from trying to make money. That's illegal.
No, we don't try to keep people from making money.
I don't know. Not making money. I mean, like trying to do it legal.
Okay, counterfeiting. Well, counterfeiting actually, counterfeit prevention is actually handled by the United States Secret Service. They're across the street. But we are involved in cash operations, right? We have cash operations. We are involved in the payment system. What else do we do?
Economic.
That's you.
Economic development.
We can do some community development work, right? So we're engaged in encouraging community development, things like that.
Research and data collection.
We do have a research department, yes, who's engaged in doing research on the economy and other economic topics, but also in preparing our president, who's a member of the Federal Open Market Committee. There's one other major area, though, that we're engaged in.
Supervision and regulation.
Supervision and regulation of banks and other financial institutions, right? So, why are you here? Why did you come here today?
To learn more.
I wanted to learn a lot about how the Federal Research works and how the bank manages the money, the inflow, outflow, and basically research inflation and all that.
Okay, so all the things that we're engaged in then, we want to learn about our purposes and functions. So, anybody have any idea when the Federal Reserve started? 1913. Boy, that's the first time I've had money's for it. Almost a lot of people knew the answer to that. So 1913. Who was president of the United States in 1913? Woodrow Wilson. So before the Federal Reserve, we actually had 3 or 4 distinct periods, depending on how you look at it. So in 1791, the first bank in the United States opened. So this was a financial institution that was down the street here. It had a national charter. You can actually still go and see the headquarters building at 3rd and Chestnut Streets. And whose idea was that original bank in the United States? Hamilton. So Hamilton originated that idea, he pressed for that idea, and he was its major champion. Jefferson opposed it, and in the end, these two founding fathers were engaged in trying to convince President Washington of their view. President Washington did sign the bill that created the first bank of the United States, and it operated for 20 years. Its charter was left to expire, and we had a period during the War of 1812, where we didn't have a central bank in the United States. We didn't have any large national financial institution that was engaged in influencing the economy as a whole like the Bank of the United States had. And then in 1816, we had the opening of the second Bank of the United States. By the way, both of these institutions were called Bank of the United States. And that bank also was here in Philadelphia, and it's on Chestnut Street, right around 4th Street. So the interesting thing about Philadelphia, the thing that's unique about Philadelphia is we actually have 3 structures, and one of which you're in right now, that were our 3 major institutions, were involved in our 3 major institutions in our periods of central banking. So the first bank, second bank, and then, of course, the Federal Reserve in this regional reserve bank here. So after 1836, the Second Bank of the United States actually closed. Its charter also was left to expire. You may have heard of the bank wars between Nicholas Biddle, who was a famous Philadelphian, but was president of the Second Bank of the United States, and President Jackson. Jackson opposed the Second Bank of the United States. And so from 1836 until 1913, we had no central bank in the United States. We had no large national financial institution that was engaged in the economy the way that the banks of the United States had been. And we had 5 major bank panics in the period 1836 to 1907. The last major one was in 1907. So you see the founding of the Federal Reserve in response to the fact that we had so many bank runs and had so many periods of financial malaise that had come from actually having these bank runs and financial instability. So the Federal Reserve was founded in 1913. We're coming up on our 100th anniversary, so that's going to be a really important date in the history of the Fed. And the Fed has changed a lot over the years. But the structure of the Fed is in many ways a response to the fact that the first and second banks of the United States hadn't, in the long run, been successful. And so we have this hybrid system in which we have 12 regional reserve banks. You're obviously at one of them. And then the Board of Governors in Washington, which is a centralized aspect, and there's also a government agency. So it's part of the system. So it's a system that is private-public, but also central and regional. So what I want to do is to show you our film clip. We've done a lot of work on this film, and I'll tell you a little bit about what it's all about and give you a chance to see it. It's still in its rough form. It's actually a QuickTime file, so we're praying that it runs smoothly here. So this is a rough version of it. We still have some more work that we're doing on it. But this will be a film that will be available for high school teachers and college professors to use with students. And it describes the purposes and functions of the Fed. It also has chapters which have much more detail on the history of the Federal Reserve, on money and banking, so topics that you may have already learned about. Also, detailed chapters about monetary policy, the payment system, supervision and regulation. But I want to give you a little chance to see some of this. It gives you some overview of what I just talked about, as well as some more detail. And it also includes some interviews with some famous people that you might know. See his lectures that he did at George Washington University that were streamed using Ustream. Did any of you get a chance to see any of those? Okay, are you aware that he did these? We did 4 lectures at the end of March. We actually have a handout that my colleague Todd Zarkin is going to hand out to you. It gives you some more information about this because you can go back and watch them. So he covers a lot of stuff in here. He talks about the history of the Fed, he talks about what the Fed does, he talks about the financial crisis, and he talks about our response to the financial crisis. So there's really fantastic content there, and given the fact that he's such a great speaker and so good at explaining all this information, I think you'll find it a really valuable way to learn even more, because obviously in the time that you're with us today, we can't cover everything, and I'm sure you have lots of additional things that you'd be interested in. But those students at George Washington were very lucky to be able to have him there live with him, but the Board of Governors has done a lot of work to make it so that it's available for the rest of us to be able to watch. They were really great lectures. They gave a lot of really great information. So take some time and check those out on Ustream. Ustream, by the way, has apps that are downloadable for Android and for iPad. So you can actually download them and use your other devices other than just sitting at a computer and watching them. But they're really well worth your time. I can't say that every online lecture in the world is worth your time, but these are really, really good quality, and he did a great job of explaining the content.
Everybody trying to order.
Learn a few things, and it was quite an adventure. I love Jesus Miserio's description of our day. So, all the best to all of you, those that are moving on. Good luck at University Park and in your respective careers. And I hope to see you all, those of you going to be remaining with us. Look forward to seeing you. And
one more thing. We are Penn State!
I got something else. Guys, I got something else.
It's almost a necessity.
I want to thank everyone who has helped this entire year with the fundraising. Now, I know the events didn't go as planned, but I truly do not think it was to any of our faults. We all tried our best. It was a group effort, and yeah, it's not what we truly wanted, but it's a learning experience. And to tell you the truth, I just think it was the timing, not what we did. I think if we did it at a different time, it would work. So, yes, we're all going on to different campuses, but whoever's staying here, continue doing what you're doing. If you're going to main campus, like I am, find a business club. And if you're going to Harrisburg, like a few people, then join a business club there.
Hello.
High five,
Lonnie, hi. What's up, Paul? Hey, Brittany, look at me. Hello, my lady. Oh, she's gonna.
They hear us over there.
Hi, Mrs. Nurse.
People are in action looking at the talk.
Yeah. Hi, Dr. Nurse.
Beautiful.
Okay, he's drinking. He's not hurt. Hi, Matt.
Also chatting it up.
Yeah, they're talking.
Jason trying to avoid the picture.
Jason, show me that smile. Yeah, there you go. Hi, Talia. Look at Ed.
Look at me.
I can get under the camera. Yeah, that's
Oh, I'm pretty sure it goes on the left.
yeah.
Some composition with behave yourself. It's all thanks to compromise.
Paul, how do I stop it?
Paul, notification. Oh.
Listen, enjoying the food?
It's beautiful.
Fastest spin in town.
86 years.
Thank you.
We had some rough parts of the trip, but you know what? The bus got a little damaged, but you know what? There's a liability insurance that we have, so that's not a big deal. So, we had a great time at the National Constitution Center. We learned a lot. We took pictures at the National Constitution Center. We learned about some laws that were introduced and some controversial laws that are still trying to be decided at this moment. And then we were told that we couldn't go to the Federal Reserve, but then we went anyway, and then it happened, and it was well, and now we're at this very nice restaurant. We're all having a great time, and I hope the future business members can do the same stuff that we're doing right now. And that's basically it. I wish everyone the best, happy and healthy. Yeah.
Great speech. How was your meal?
Meal was good. And the company was even better, so.
Alright. Thank you very much for that speech. Anybody else would like to say something?
I don't think I want to say something.
Do you want to say something?
Yeah, why don't you ask what's said?
My name was over here. I had a great time.
Our new treasurer, listen to this, Mr. President. Our new treasurer, secretary,
Vice President, co-advisor, fundraising chair, and president.
She's got everything. Share with us what we need to hear, because she's on the high level vets. That's all we can do.
Thank you.